The next button that I'm going to show you is the share screen button. You can see it's front and center in the middle. This is so when you're in the video, if you have something open that you want to share, you just click it. You'll see that you can share either your entire screen, a browser window, or if I had other programs open such as PowerPoint or Word, I could share those as well. There's also an additional whiteboarding tool, which I'll show now. Once you have selected what you want to share, you just come down here and click share. So this is the whiteboarding tool. As you can see, there's the ability to type text, draw shapes or lines, stamps. You can format things. So there's a lot of controls here. And then when you're done with the whiteboard, you can either save it or you can just clear it. You can also stop your screen share at any time by coming up here to the top and clicking stop. And that brings you right back into your video conference. So very, very powerful tool in screen share. One important thing that we've talked about in one of the other videos, but we need to talk about it again here, is that by default, you should have sharing your screen set to only the host so that students can't join your class and begin sharing their screens. So down here, there's a little caret next to share screen. And if you go to advanced sharing options, you'll see that right now only the host can share. This is how you would toggle it if you did want to have students share. Just be very mindful of giving them the sharing abilities. Make sure it's on a very targeted, very specific thing that they're doing. And then when you're finished with them sharing screens, make sure you switch back to host. So this is a cool little advanced tool there. Make sure you pay attention and use that as much as possible. Same thing with this share screen feature. Make sure you're fully conscious of how that works. It might be one of the things that you practice with first before anything else and before engaging with students in Zoom. Next, we're going to talk about the chat button. If I click the chat button, you'll see over here on the right-hand side that half of my participation list turns into a group chat panel. Right now it's set so that if I type a message here, everyone's going to see it. And then all my students can also use this to chat and send messages. So for example, if I mute all microphones, this would be a great way for them to ask questions. If you left this open, you would see that as you're working through a Zoom. Over here on the right-hand side, there's more options with chat. These are really important, actually. You can determine what the participants can do with the chat right here while you're in the video. So no one means they won't be able to chat, period, which is a great idea depending on the grade level. Host only means they could only send messages to you, but no one else will see them. They're private in that regard. Everyone publicly means when they post a chat message, everyone sees the same thing. So what we see here, hello, would be to everyone. And then last but not least, everyone publicly and privately. So they would be able to chat, they would be able to post publicly and send messages not only to you privately, but everyone else. Notice when you switch these that it's only one option of these four at a time. So these are the only settings to go with. So choose wisely, and you can always change it during the meeting depending on how it's going and what you need to accomplish. There's also the option to save a chat in text. So if you ever need that, you can do that. And that's pretty much the chat. You can change the size or minimize it or pop it out on another screen using the drop down. But really, that's it. Over here, after chat, there's record. Recording is really something that if you decide to do, you're going to want to not publicly post it anywhere because it does have students engaged and it will record your screen. You can record either on the computer, and depending on your account, you may also be able to record on the cloud, but just simply toggling it on starts the recording. If you need to stop the recording or pause the recording, you have the tool up here in the left-hand corner, and that's it. So it's a very simple tool, and you'll see in a later video how to access those recordings. Last but not least is ending a meeting. So in order to end a meeting correctly, you want to make sure that all of your students are aware that they may not return to the chat when finished, and that the link will not work. So this was accomplished in the settings that you set up earlier when you were creating your Zoom meeting. Down here, when you click end meeting, it's very important that you click end meeting for all. You don't want to just leave the meeting because that could potentially, depending on your settings, allow students to remain in. So critical that everyone's pressing end meeting for all when they finish a Zoom meeting, and that way everyone is out of the meeting. And that's it.